Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nexus. I'm glad to be back. I've been absent for a few weeks. I hope you all missed me. We had Jim from Fairways Golf on the show last week, and it was great to see Taylor interacting with him and having some fun. And we've got a couple new Tap On It deals out there that you guys should check out. We got Juice Stop, Patty's Pub, Brown Shoes. There's some really great offers and bonus offers, so definitely check those out. I have some great guests here today. I'm really excited for you to get to know Blake Collingsworth and Sara Reyes. They're both with Josh Collingsworth Memorial Foundation, and they have an incredible program that teaches our youth about water safety. And just welcome to the Nexus, and just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about the foundation.
I am Blake Collingsworth, and my wife Kathy can't be here today, but her and I started the foundation in July of 2008 after we lost our son Joshua to a backyard pool drowning in June of 2008 on a beautiful sunny Sunday day. We had a whole bunch of people over at the house, and they were coming and going, and there was a break in some time where we were getting ready to barbecue and have a late afternoon lunch, and the pool area was empty. And best I can tell, Joshua saw an opportunity to play with his older brother's watering gun, and his older brother never let him touch it. So when he saw that opportunity, he tried to fill the watering gun as much as I can guess, and lost his balance and fell in the pool. And he was 2.5. And he didn't have the physical skills yet to right himself. And so, if you don't understand, you try to gasp for air, you take in water, and then things go bad from there, obviously. So he was out of our sight for a few minutes, and Kathy actually said something to me, "Have you seen Josh?" And I really kind of panicked at that moment, and seconds later I heard her scream. So she had looked out the back window and saw him in the pool, and we went out there, and my brother and sister-in-law, medically trained, started CPR, and the paramedics arrived what seemed like hours, but it was about 15 minutes, and he was taken to Lincoln General back then, and he was resuscitated and had his heart beating, so I thought we were going to be okay. But they suggested that he'd be life flighted to Omaha, and he was in the pediatric ICU there. And the doctor came out and said after evaluating him, there wasn't much hope, which was really sad. But little children can't be without oxygen in their brain for very long at all, and it's life debilitating. So about 3 days later, after a lot of tests and studies, the doctors recommended that we let nature take its course and take him off his life support. And about 45 minutes later, he passed away. So we were able to donate some of Joshua's heart valves and different things to help other kids. From that moment on, we were trying to look to find something good to come out of it, even from the very beginning. But that's a story of how we ended up, deciding that we had to do something about this, because we got home after that, and I started doing research, and I was totally blown away that the number one cause of unintentional death to children 1 to 4 in the United States is drowning.
Right.
And I didn't know that statistic.
And completely not talked about at that time.
And it's the second leading cause of unintentional death to all adolescents under 14.
Wow.
I mean, you think about all the different things that we talk to kids about to keep them safe. Don't touch that stove, it's hot. Look both ways before you cross the street.
Yeah.
Don't talk to strangers. All the different things that we're constantly trying to remind our kids to keep them healthy and safe. And the number one cause we're not talking about as a society.
Well, and we associate water with fun, right? So you don't initially caution them like this is also, it's a great play area, but it's also something you really need to respect and, have adult supervision. But it's not talked about in that way always. So, yeah.
Sara, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Sara Reyes, and I'm the development director at the foundation. I've known the Collingsworth for several years now, started off as a volunteer, and, after learning who they are and their mission, you can't help but fall in love with what they're doing in the community.
Exactly.
So I'm excited to be a part of the team. We've got some really neat things happening, and we'll share those here in a little bit. But native of Fairbury, and just spent some time in Chicago and moved back to be closer to family. So it's good to be home. It's a good place to raise children.
You have kids of your own.
Got two little girls who keep me busy, 5 and 9, and they've gone through the Josh The Otter Float for Life lessons at the facility. So I can attest to what it does as a parent, and just the comfort and not only mine but theirs, again, because you want them to be able to enjoy the water but also be safe.
So tell us more about your facility. It's gorgeous. You were kind enough to give me a tour. I really appreciated that. Just tell us more about the Float for Life program.
Okay, I guess I'll lead off with how we even got to this point.
Yeah, that's a great point. There's a lot to cover.
When I found out those statistics and I started looking around to determine how are we educating our kids, around the rest of the country, there was only a couple little programs out there that started talking to kids. I think most of the time we think we got to educate parents and keep parents more engaged, which we do. Mm-hmm. Parents need to have touch supervision. They need to be engaged. But I've always thought, why aren't we having the kids learn what they need to keep themselves safe? Mm-hmm. That's why we grow them up and tell them all the things that are important, that I just mentioned. So I said, well, how do you get this point across to kids? You're not going to sit at the dining room table and say, hey, don't go around water unless you're with mom and dad, even though that is the main message. But they love purple dinosaurs. They love Dora Explorer. So it just dawned on me, we need to create a character that the children get excited about, they will listen to, and it becomes so important to them. Mm-hmm. And so I literally pulled out my iPod, and a month later we were iPod, and I started writing a story. Aww. And it ended up coming out as Josh the Baby Otter, a tale to promote water safety to children. And it's a story about a newborn otter named Josh, whose mother is teaching him to backfloat. Mm-hmm. And 2 other otters come up and want to play with him, and they have that discussion about how important it is to not go around water without an adult, always to swim with a buddy, and that he's not ready yet. Mm-hmm. And so that's how the story progresses through. Mm-hmm. And he eventually, the 2 other otters, Alex and Austin, help him learn to backfloat. And
it's such a cute story.
And the kids just, they love otters. Mm-hmm. If you go to any zoo and you see an otter exhibit, their kids face up against the glass and they're laughing. So they just love the character, and they look up to the message that he has.
Yeah. And it's a natural born talent in otters.
And Josh was really, really wanted to please mom and dad. And that was his personality type. So it's really sad to think that maybe one simple little story like this could save a child's life, mm-hmm. and that they would be with you. Mm-hmm. And we hear anecdotal stories about parents that say, yeah, my son standing there in a swimsuit saying, hey, I'm ready to go swimming, but I can't go out there without you. Mm-hmm. And that's so cool. When you're hearing those anecdotal stories that children are picking up on the message, or their 7-year-olds lecturing their 3-year-old little brother or sister.
Yes.
To say, hey, you're not an otter yet, or here's what I learned in school. You can't go around water unless mom and dad come with us. Then we know we're making an impact on these kids. So we want to make a generational change. Hopefully these 5, 6, 7-year-old, when they're 20, 21 and they have children, mm-hmm. it becomes natural for them. It's right. Like seatbelt
one of
safety.
Those, don't touch that, it's hot.
Yeah.
Don't play in water
safety.
without.
Kids have all, nowadays everybody's been raised putting a seatbelt on, so it becomes more natural.
Yep.
So we need water safety to become a natural tendency, and do it in a fun way. And that's mm-hmm. what Josh The Otter is all about. So the 2 things, just talking to Joshua about it, and then the physical side is teaching the children as early as 6 months that if they fall in the water, mm-hmm. that they don't panic and take in the water. They hold their breath, flip on their back like an otter does, and they can backfloat. And it's amazing how quickly they learn. And that's what Float for Life is all about. So those 2 components. At
a very young age, basically from birth on. You can teach
6
them
months
to float, right?
is really early. And pediatricians now say 12 months is fine if you're comfortable with that. They used to say 4 years, because it was the category of swimming. And they're physically, they can't do the breaststroke or the back, those types of things, but they definitely can hold their breath, flip on their back and float like an otter. And we hear students that go in and say, I'm ready to be like Josh, I want to learn this. So if they read the story, then go to lessons, it kind of takes some of the inhibitions away, the fear of the kids too. Because I remember growing up when I had to go to swim lessons, I was a little nervous about it.
Well, you see it all the time. I'm sure when you've taken your daughters to swimming lessons, there's kids clinging or like crying. They don't want to get in, and it should be fun just as long as you have skills that are keeping you safe. Yeah.
So we're really fortunate that last year we opened our facility. Otherwise, we've been working out of the house for 11 years and barely could get it out of our car in the garage because we had books everywhere and all sorts of things. And we were teaching Float for Life at hotel pools. We were getting great responses from hotel owners and things like that. Were letting us use their pools to teach classes. But we opened this facility, and we have the pool for teaching kids and teaching instructors. And we then also have the office side where we store all the materials and ship all our materials out. And that's where Sarah's at. And we also do our Rotary meetings there because we started a Rotary club. And that's a whole nother story about how our books are distributed.
Yeah.
And they're all over the United States, even other parts of the country or the world have been distributing Josh The Otter books through Rotary clubs and other programs.
How many countries are we at now that Josh The Otter's been?
At least 6.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
They've been translated in various languages too, right?
We have it translated in 12 languages.
Wow.
Yeah. The book was actually printed and produced in Sao Paulo, Brazil, in Portuguese, and also in Urdu in Pakistan.
Oh my gosh, that's so great.
So I have to share with you guys, one of our students is a 57-year-old man who never learned how to swim or float or anything and just wants to enjoy water, so he's taking back float lessons. So this just goes to show you that it doesn't matter what age you are or what demographic or background, this is a skill that can help you enjoy water as a fun activity.
Yeah. There's a lot of adults that never learned how to swim. Yeah.
And sadly, a lot of times that's why a lot of children don't end up learning to swim, is because a lot of parents are afraid of it. And so they just have this natural aversion to keep their children away from it.
Yeah.
And everybody should learn to swim. It's a great activity that's healthy, that, it's the one sport that can save your life.
Yeah. That's true.
And Michael Phelps actually told us that when he came in. He did our
your
ribbon.
buddy, Michael Phelps.
Yeah, he did our ribbon cutting, was in town last year for that. So.
That's really cool that he came for that. Well, you did mention it really quickly, but you have worked really well with Rotary Club all across the country, and you're bringing these books into the schools and giving students a copy of it, which is why you have so many boxes, and so they can continue to read with their families. And it's such a cool program, and the Lincoln Public Schools here, they've adopted that program, and every year you try to get a copy of that into all kindergartners' hands, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And typically, because the foundation, we couldn't afford it, we've done a coloring book and a sticker to every student in Lincoln, every kindergarten student in Lincoln, which is about almost 4,000, all schools told, and then every classroom has the book. This year, Sarah has decided we're going to get every kindergarten student their own copy of Josh The Otter. And so she's been working with some great sponsors, and
that's awesome.
They're going to help us do that this year. And the value of taking the book home is that mom and dad read it over and over again.
Yeah.
And so they get the message at home as well of the importance of water safety, and then they share it with their siblings. And that's that whole question of, what did I learn as a kindergarten student, and how can I pass that information on to my younger brother or sister?
Yeah.
And also lecture mom and dad.
Yeah.
But we hear a lot of parents saying, I've read that book. I can't even tell you how many hundreds of times. That's what they want to read before they go to bed.
Pick it out.
Yeah, so you don't get that same impact if they don't take the book home.
Well, it's such a great character, Josh, and a lot of times you're able to bring the physical mascot. You have the costume for Josh the Otter, and I thought it was really cool when you were telling me the other day you wanted to get Josh the Otter to be as well known as Smokey the Bear. Like, everyone saw Smokey the Bear, fire safety. Now we see Josh the Otter, and it's water safety. So it's a really good analogy, and I think I want to help as much as I can too to get that message out there. I grew up when I was a lifeguard, and I love being in the water, and I want people to have fun in the water too. So.
Well, we appreciate you guys inviting us in to let other people know how important the message is and helping us spread that message.
Yeah, if there's anyone out there that wants to help support the cause, maybe get those books into all the kids' hands this year. And I know you guys have other things coming up too that you're doing to promote water safety, and tell us what's going on.
You bet. So May is a busy month for us. Not only are we distributing books in packets nationwide, but it's National Water Safety Awareness Month. So we have partnered with other local businesses here in the community. One of them is Fleet Feet, and throughout the month of May, we are doing an exercise challenge to where as long as you exercise for 30 minutes 3 times a week, you get entered into a drawing, and each week we have prizes. And so the registration to participate in the challenge for the entire month is $25, and you get a t-shirt, a Fleet Feet sticker, which I guess is a very big deal to runners when they do these kind of challenges. So you get our badge, which would look just like our magnet, which is really cool. And so a portion of that $25 is going to go back to the foundation, and then if you would like to donate any additional funds, that will come back to us too. And what we use these funds for is to provide scholarships for any child in the community who maybe doesn't have access to swim lessons or backflip lessons, and we can be that avenue and resource for them. So that's one thing. The other
Where do they sign up for that?
You can sign up at fleetfeetlincoln.com, or you can email me and I will get you the link. And my email is Sara, S-A-R-A, at joshtheotter.org.
Okay.
And so we're really excited about that. It's twofold. One's promoting getting active, getting healthy. The other one is supporting what we do here in the community. So great partnership there. And then the other is getting the books and the packets out to the LPS, Catholic and private schools. We've had a great response from the community, but we still have some schools that need sponsorships. And so if you're interested, the books will have a sticker inside of them saying, this book was generously donated by True North Technologies. Together we can save lives. And so I think it's such a cool thing to do. And my logo my saying for that is no child gets left behind this year. So we really, really want to push that campaign and make it happen. And so, and the last piece that I want to touch base on, which is extremely exciting, is the Josh The Otter license plates. So,
that's exciting.
I wish I would have brought up.
Is it official?
It's probably in the next month is going to be official. So I know it's going to. So what that means is last fall we started this project with Senator Geis about creating our own Josh the Otter license plate. And so if you go to the DMV, you can request to have this as your license plate, and the $70 that you would normally pay, instead of having to go to the Departments of Roads or Parks and Recreation, it's going to come back to the foundation, and in turn we're going to provide scholarships to students. And so in order for that to happen, there was a lot of back-end work, and that's where Senator Geis was awesome about promoting that. And so we need to pre-sell 250, and I'm so excited to say that we're so close to getting that. So if you want one, please reach out to me. I will send you the application, and you can send me the $70. And so in the next month, once it gets the final approval from the legislature, then the governor just needs to sign off on it, and then we're ready to go to circulation.
Well, I think the Nexus fan base can definitely help out with that.
Awesome.
So if you want, you can email us too, and we'll get you in touch with Sara. So
the plate has the badge on it, and so statewide. And
that's awesome.
That's the point of just creating this message, that it puts water safety in people's mind.
Yeah, just
and so if
top of mind. The more they see it, the more they're going to talk about it.
We always say we spotted an otter when we see someone with a magnet on their car. And that's another thing. On May 10th, we're having National Otter Spotting Day. And so we encourage people to take pictures with our otter hand fans and mascot suits when we have them out and about. And we're going to be duplicating that again this year. And that's done all over the United States. We've had 75
you get
cities.
submissions from everywhere. People are tagging the hashtag, right?
Yeah, and they take
Yeah.
pictures in front of the Statue of Liberty or in
The
front of the
power of
Washington
social
Monument.
media.
Mhm.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
being in Chicago, I mean, you can get so creative with these. So we're just going to send them all over to businesses. You know, anybody that wants to participate with their teams, just get creative, get out there and just tag us, and let's create a movement. So anytime people see these, they know what it represents and who we are.
That's so cool. Well, is there anything else that you really want to share today or talk about, or
You know,
anything we missed?
if you're interested in coming and visiting our facility, we'd love to give you a tour. So you can reach
Yeah,
out
or
to
maybe
Sarah
people
and
that are
set
involved
that up.
in youth organizations that are,
Yeah.
you know, looking for one of those activities. So
Yep, and please reach out to your friends and family around the country if you're watching this, because it's not just a problem. Obviously, Florida and Texas have a worse problem than we do, and here in Nebraska, it is not even just a nationwide problem; it's a worldwide problem. And so, tell your friends what you heard today and what you learned, and tell them to make sure and talk to their children about, you know, when they're talking about the other things. Tell them always get an adult when you go around the water.
yeah, such a great message, and I just think it's so great the way that you've turned a tragedy into something that's helped so many people, and I really respect and appreciate it.
Thank
so,
you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and hopefully you stuck with us the whole way so you could get in touch with Sarah about some fun stuff that they have going on. And if you have any donations, please send them their way, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks.